the Tea Party Hardy channel. In this video, we are going to talk about Afghanistan and a few other things. And at the end of the video, I'm going to give you some personal information of what's been happening and with me and what's going to be happening. But let's get started with the actual video. For those of you paying attention, which is hopefully everybody tuning in, but if not, hey, Afghanistan is in a gigantic load of mess because President Joe Biden, our commander-in-chief, decided that he wanted to leave in the most unorganized, unwise way that humanity has seen from a superpower, possibly former superpower, because of such actions. With that in mind, for those of you who enjoy the soundtrack of your life, here are some songs from the 1980s that seem to play through my head a lot in relating to what's happening now. And yeah, it's a bit arrogant to say this stuff, but if America can't be arrogant, nobody can, at least for the next few minutes. So, the song by Thomas Dolby, whose most famous track is Blinded by Science, but he had another one called One of Our Submarines, and there's a line in it where he sings, keep in mind he's British, "Bye bye empire, bye bye." And it's hard not to recognize that we are in America living definitely in the time of end of empire. We are 245 years old. It is absolutely the most common age for empires to crumble and fall, so yay, we're right on time. Abraham Lincoln predicted it. Not that it was difficult to predict. It's not every empire collapses on its own weight. But he did say, we're never going to be destroyed from the outside. We will die by suicide if that is our lot. Well, looks like that's our lot. Matters who you vote for. The other song that comes to mind is by a band called Red Rocker, and they were almost a one-hit wonder with this song, and their song is called China. And it's a really cool song. But yeah, China, China, bye-bye empire, empire, bye-bye. And then, of course, there's the line from Fletch, where he's talking to that 9-year-old beach bum who's a junkie, and he says to him, "You're not taking very good care of yourself." Yeah, neither is America lately. Where is Reagan and Trump when you need them? Superman, where are you now? We're living in a land of illusion. In democracy, you get the leaders you deserve. And we will be probably putting that on our national headstone. Alright, so I've been wondering, and before I say this next thing, if you served in in Afghanistan. I'm starting to get Bidenese in my brain. If you served in Afghanistan, please understand, I salute you and everything that you fought for, and most importantly, I recognize, along with many, many, many people, that what you did was of course not in vain. It was just a limited time effort. But look at it like this. You see those signs all the time in the store and on commercials. Limited time only for this price. Not including the $1.50 hot dog and drink at Costco. Everything is a limited time. We are a limited time. Humans, the country. So what you did was not in vain. It just was a limited time only. And you did keep the homeland. And that goes to you, UK, and Germans, and all the rest of you who fought in Afghanistan. You kept the homeland safe from terrorists, at least from Afghanistan, for the time you fought. Now, ISIS was born under Obama, but the good news is they were the JV team. And when they attacked Benghazi on September 11th, I believe 2013, we were reminded by Hillary, at this point, what difference does it make anyway? And we were reminded when Afghanistan was surrendered and fell to the Taliban. Take your pick for which one happened first. We were reminded by Joe Biden that seeing bodies, no, they weren't bodies yet, seeing people fall off of airplanes that were clinging on to escape the Taliban, the future of their country, and to make it to America, or they just didn't let go in soon enough, whatever the case may be, we were reminded, that was 4 or 5 days ago! And they call us evil. Ain't that something? The JV team. If you didn't live through ISIS, and I don't mean the TV show in the 1970s, I mean the Islamic State and the horrors that they put on the internet. Lucky you. Not so sure that you won't be seeing it in the near future, because by surrendering and letting the Taliban take over again and letting them welcome such deviance into their country, yeah, it would be nice if things just stayed status quo, but no. So now it's going to be a race to say, okay, well, which country is going to try and destroy your life personally faster? The one that's making you do all these COVID restrictions, or the one that's making you do all of the restrictions based on the Quran? Take your pick. It's really getting difficult to recognize which one is more frightening and which one is more effective. So, with that introduction of soldiers, fighters, people who were in Afghanistan, I'm going to say this because I think it needs to be said, as cheesy as it is, but please, this is not directed to you at all. But it is not hard to imagine at all that when we get to that 20th anniversary of September 11th, in just a few weeks, wouldn't surprise me at all if they didn't put up a banner in the Pentagon, in, wherever, which field it was. I don't remember which state it landed in, but the state where that one plane crashed, where those people rescued us all, or the Twin Towers, former state of being, that they don't put up banners that say, "Welcome back, Al-Qaeda. Welcome back, ISIS. Biden 2024. I'm serious. It wouldn't surprise me at all. You know, diversity, inclusion, and equity includes the people from Afghanistan. And diversity, inclusion, and equity, well, it can't be inclusive if we don't include the Taliban. Or should we call them the Talibas? Because they certainly weren't banned. Yeah, I told you the jokes were going to be cheesy. So, again, please don't take any personal offense to that, soldiers, but this is who our leader is. Our leader is someone who wouldn't surprise anybody a bit. You know, after all, this is the guy that said that the most dangerous thing for America was white rage and white nationalism. Well, we're about to find out if that's true, because while they can't show us any examples of white rage and white nationalism, they can only talk about it. Though we could see all the examples of Black Lives Matter and their rage, and Antifa and their rage as recent as this morning, then, yeah, here we go again. But don't worry, I'm sure they'll just be the JV team once more. So now we are at the era of the bye-bye empire, bye-bye. Now, for point of reference, I've been reading the New York Times and their coverage, because nothing like going across enemy lines to see what they have to say about the situation. And they have a lot to say about the situation. And CNN, because they're all hot and heavy to say, hey, this was a big screw-up. Well, thanks for coming to the party a bit late. A little bit of Fox News, because Fox News actually hasn't been covering it very much. And a lot of time with Sky News. Sky News has been covering it very well in depth. And that's a pretty fun channel. It reminds me a lot of Fox when Fox was young. I didn't have cable back then. I don't have cable now, actually. But still, when I did get to see it at friends' houses, it does remind me of that. So that's where I'm coming from. That's my data inputs, not in, and of course, Real Clear Politics. If you've watched this channel at all, you know I use Real Clear Politics as one of my foundational hubs. But yeah, anyway, so we are definitely not looking good, and this is the way I look at it. 2022 is coming, 2024 is coming, but we aren't in ordinary times. If you use the analogy of a plate thrown onto the ground and it shatters, all you can do to that plate to restore it is to glue it and hope that it makes a smooth functioning surface again. But it will never be as beautiful as it was, and it will never function as well, and it will never be as strong after you've thrown that plate on the ground, watched it shatter, and then someone put it back together and glued it. That is what the Democrats and Joe Biden have done to America. They spent 4 years lying about Trump and his family and the people that served him and got away with it. They spied on him to degrees that Nixon would have had to change his sheets for, because Watergate was a simple one-time break-in. And Clapper and his claptrap folks and the other ones were spying all over the place for weeks and months on end, maybe to this moment. So, yeah. And here we are now, where Germany's mad at us, England's mad at us, the Taliban, of course, is mad at us, ISIS is, of course, mad at us. Who are our allies? They like to say under Trump all the time that he was destroying national prestige. No, he was showing what it's like to be a strong country and to be, as it says in Machiavelli, would you rather be feared or loved? He chose feared, and it worked. He calmed down North Korea. He calmed down Iran. He completely... People forget it because Biden undid it, but he really did bring peace to the Middle East until Biden came in and undid it. So, that's our past. Now we have 3.5 years with a guy who can't put a sentence together. With a guy who stumbles over his words while reading a prompter. And a vice president who is MIA almost as much as the president was, until they finally said, you gotta come back. Whatever's left of you, you've got to come back. When you look at Joe Biden and you watch him speak, not through the filter of the editing like ABC did, but you watch him actually speak at these press conferences, he may have surrendered America to the Taliban, but the American voters surrendered. And I've been saying this, oh my God, just so many times. We knowingly elected a senile old man and put him in charge of the most powerful position on planet Earth. We knowingly did that, and we are now paying the consequences. The whole world is now paying the consequences for willingly, knowingly putting a senile man into office. Well done. In a democracy, you get the vote. In a democracy, you get the government you deserve. Now, it's not popular and it's not loved when you spank the people around you and say, hey, look what you did, look what you did. Well, you know what? Spare the rod, spoil the child. If I was worried about, viewers and subscribers, I would have quit a long time ago. I've got 1 billion videos and I've got under 300 subscribers. So, no, I just do this because it's, for those who listen and it might help, yay. For those who listen and it might agitate, seriously, that is not my purpose. So our prestige is destroyed. The plate has been broken. If Trump gets reelected, or DeSantis gets reelected, or somebody of the equivalent, or the Democrats decide to pull a gigantic switcheroo and, think, wow, we were really morons to kick Tulsi out of the party. Maybe we need somebody more like Tulsi Gabbard back. And, yeah, but Tulsi Gabbard was literally the only Tulsi Gabbard in the whole Democrat organization. She was phenomenally unique. I have been so fond of her since she was elected, knowing she's a Democrat, but she's a Democrat who served in the military and took the military human beings very seriously. And when people were saying, oh, let's say the president, that, they're the JV team, she's like, oh, no, they're not. Oh, don't you, not that. No, she would say it in some type of surfer term. But, yeah, whoever comes in, all they can do is glue the plate back together. And I'm not even talking about the economy. I'm not talking about the virus. I'm not talking about CRT, critical race theory, not the old-fashioned TVs, the cathode ray tube. No, critical race theory. I'm not even talking about that. But all of that's real, and all of that is relevant. So I'm going to wrap it up at this. I've gone full Tim Pool length here, but it's been a long time since I did this. Now, as promised, where I've been, where I'm going. So for those of you that are still here and care, I was teaching science all summer and all last year to grade school kids, and it was extremely rewarding for me, not financially, but it was very powerful to have the opportunity to work with this handful of kids that were able to come and be together as human beings, because I'm in California where everybody else was on lockdown, but they set up these special programs, and I got to work at one of them where the kids actually got to come together. Yes, we followed ridiculous rules considering that particular stage of the cootie didn't hurt the kids unless they had phenomenally large amounts of comorbidities. So with us, yes, we kept them 6 feet apart, and we did the mask, and it was obnoxious and horrible, and we did all that, but they got to play together, they got to learn together, they got to have fun together, and it was serious. It was like 10 kids, but it was 10 kids that got to do it. And so anyways, I was teaching science for that, and it didn't allow me a lot of time to make a bunch of videos. And so my background, as again you longtime viewers know, is music, and then I do the science thing because they asked me to, and I got good at it eventually. But music is my true core, and I've been working on music a lot since the kids went back to school and I lost my job because the special program isn't needed anymore. So I was doing a ton of music because I haven't got to do it for a year and a half to any real amount, and so just like song after song after song is pouring out of me. Will I put them on this channel? No, but I do write the music on this channel, so there's always that. And I might invite you to watch them on the other channels, because I have like 6 YouTube channels. Going to be doing some work on some of the science videos. I really want to do the astronomy section, so I want to put that together. But I want to do the music for each planet. And so that's where I've been, and that's where I'm going. What am I going to do for this channel? I've done the reviews, mostly because this channel gets way more views for the reviews than anything else. But the channel is a political channel, as you can tell by the reviews, and people that turn in for normal reviews like, whoa, what the heck is this? And, my main viewer base comes from the one video I made on the critical drinker a long time ago, where I watched this guy and I'm like, hey, this dude's really, really good. And so I made a video about him, and I get a lot of flack from people about that video going, oh, you're so jealous and everything. I'm jealous. You clearly didn't watch the whole video. And they didn't. I am so proud of the critical drinker, and no, I've never talked to him, and no, he's never talked to me. And would I want to? Sure. Would it be intimidating? Phenomenally. But I'm just so proud of him and what he's been able to do, and he's kept his head straight. He already had his fame going from being a book writer, so I'm just really proud of him. As far as the fact that all these people come from that video to the rest, okay, welcome aboard, glad to have you. Hopefully it's not too far from what you expected, but here it is. But anyways, will I still be doing more political videos? Of course. Am I going to dig into them deep? I don't know. It's hard to cover this stuff, and I don't want to do a video that everybody else has already talked about and everybody's covered in a way that just leaves me to reiterate it. And I know I do have a different audience than some of the people I watch, but it's just, if I can offer something unique, I'm going to bring it out there. That's why I'm doing this one, because nobody's talked about the totality of the things I've talked about. And this video is really long, so I'm really piling it all on there too. So maybe I'll be doing them a little bit more frequent, not sure. The video ones, I gotta look for a job, so won't have as much free time. I've just, I had a week off to just kind of, not do science for the last year and a half and just relax a little bit. And I did look for work, and things like that. But I've got to get way more serious about it because rent is coming. Forget about winter is coming. Rent is coming. And without a job, it's hard to do that. But anyways, if you did make it all this way, wow, you are one special viewer, and I'm glad to have had you, and I hope you enjoyed it. And we're going into dangerous times. That plate, I don't know how to undo that analogy. The plate is broken. And we have those little pieces are, I don't know how any, Reagan came in after Carter and he made things better. But that's the problem with the Republicans. They'll either make things the same or they'll make it a little better, but they never ever put us back to where we were. And where is that we should be back to? What the words of the Constitution say. When you read the Constitution, it's not a long document and it's not written in legalese. Oh, God bless the Founding Fathers. It is not written in legalese. It's written in actual English. And when you read it, you're like, I remember the first time I read it, I was 17 years old in high school, and I'm like, oh my God, I want to live in the country that actually does this. It's never changed. I still want to live in the country that does that. If we go back and actually institute the rules of the Founding Father, we will once again be the most desired nation in the world. Because, I was watching this thing the other day, and they're talking about, had these people they were interviewing from campus reforms, like, oh, America's horrible, it's so racist. Like, okay, can you name a better country? And they're like, no. That's true, but we used to be light years ahead of the other countries. We really did, and it would be nice to have them again. But you can't do it when everybody's breaking the plates and they are shattering what our foundation is. The word is called Constitution, as in what are you made of? When you read it, you'll love it. But we're not following it. Our Constitution is not our Constitution. If it was, we wouldn't be in this mess. Thank you for watching. We will see you in the future for something, don't know what. Something, either review or something, don't know. See you in the future.